So I have gone through and done curriculum close-ups of all of my first/second grade curriculum that we're using with Caitlin this year. But I haven't really shown y'all what I'm doing with Molly, who's 3.5. And I guess a lot of people would classify her as a Pre-K3. And I struggle with the idea of doing actual curriculum and lessons with her. But her personality type is such that she wants to be doing lessons. She wants to be participating and doing things just like Big Sister. So I have put together a few things, pulled together a few resources, and I kind of wanted to show those to you. So let's turn you around and take a look. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this without blinding you. So this is Molly's daily notebook, and I pieced this together. I got this as a free printable. It was a download off of Teachers Pay Teachers. My gosh, I must have gotten this last year. So then on Confessions of a Homeschooler, she's got a daily learning notebook download, and I don't know if it's still free, but when I got it, it was free. And I've rearranged the order of some pages, and I've omitted lots of things, and I've changed some things around. This is my name, and the objective is that you see how your handwriting progresses as you go through the year. So I wrote her name first and then had her trace over it, since that's something we are working on. And Caitlin also has this in her notebook. We have tally marks, and you can see she's already put down 2. And so she's going to work on practicing tally marks and whatnot, because Caitlin also has this page in her book. So we can't be left behind. We have a 100 days of school chart. She was able to draw the 1 by herself, but I lightly wrote 2 and then she traced it. And this is also in Caitlin's. And then we have the months. And in here we have, you trace the name of the month, and then you go in and you fill in the numbers for every day. And then you also go through and you check off what your weather is like, so that we can just kind of graph the weather. And there is one of these sheets for every month of the year, and they're all the same. Obviously, like, the little picture up here changes and the name of the month changes. So we go all the way from August to July. I went onto Pinterest and found some traceables, and I don't even know that I can find this again. And so anyhow, I went through and I printed off these shape tracers. And it has the name of the shape, and there's some lovely glare, sorry about that. And so Molly takes a dry erase marker. So she just goes in, and this is completely at will for her. She doesn't have to do this. She's not required to do this. She just opens it up and decides whether she wants to do something. And she likes to trace the letters. She likes to trace a lot. See, I don't think she's even seen this page yet. So we've got multiple shapes, and I went ahead and I printed them off on just basic printer paper, and then I lined them up back to back, and I've got a laminator, so I laminated them myself. So I loaded all those pages in. And now these were also printable. They were not printables technically. These were all on Pinterest, and they were all just Google images. So I just printed them off of Google Images, like just printed the picture off of Google. And then I expanded them in my printer copier to full sheets. And then I went through and printed them back to back, so that way I was using fewer lamination sheets, because those can get expensive. And these are literally just like pre-writing tracing pages, and they're not English. I'm pretty sure that some of them are Spanish, some of them are German, might have been one of them. But these are all just kind of like unnamed, unsourced, I guess is the word I'm looking for, things that I found that were just images that I printed. If I had a book that I could link, or a specific page that I could link for you for these, I would. But I honestly just typed into Pinterest precursive practice, and tons of things like this showed up. So Molly has obviously taken to this. I really wish I could get rid of that glare. I'm sorry, y'all. So she's gone through and she's done the things, and she'll erase it herself, and then she'll go back and redo it. And she's a very meticulous child, just like Caitlin is, although perhaps with a little a different bent towards some fashions. But she really seemed to enjoy this. She thought this was great stuff. And then her back. So that's Molly's daily notebook. Something else I did for her was for history and science. She's part of everything that we do. So I got her own copies of our Story of the World. And this was from chapter 1, the first section, where you got to pretend like you were flying on a magic carpet all around the Roman world. So she enjoyed cutting out and coloring herself, and she decided not to participate with today's map work, which I didn't fully expect her to either. And then we've got some coloring pages that she can play with over the next couple of days. She gets to do history and science with us as she wants to. And so yeah, at Sam's Club, I found this Big Skills for Little Hands cut and paste book. Molly really loves to cut and glue things together. And so I thought to just pick this up for her, and what we'll probably do is maybe 2 activities per week, give or take. These are all perforated sheets. We'll tear 1 out or tear 2 out for the week. And I might go through and do a similar thing with with this workbook, the way that I did with Caitlin's workbook, as far as cutting all the pages out and then dividing them out into the week folders. I might go ahead and do that for her so she feels like she's a part of it. But ultimately, she just needs to learn how to like practice cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. And then they go through, and you can, once you advance to cutting like various shapes, you can start by gluing them onto various things. You know, there's some in here. There are a total of 70 activities in this particular book. So if I were to do 2 activities per week, that would take us to week 35 of our schooling, which would be perfect. And if I actually don't start this till next week, then, which would be our week 2, then this would take us to the end of the school year. And I only paid $7 for this whole book, so I was content to do that. The next thing I have for her, these are also from Confessions of a Homeschooler and the Printable Zone. So I went through and I did all the numbers that they offer. So we go all the way to number 20, and then we have the alphabet, A through Z. And this was just like a blank month page that came in that daily kit, and I just stuck it in there apparently. And then over on Confessions of a Homeschooler, she has these pattern block mats. And so I went through and I printed these on cardstock. We have a lot of these pattern blocks, so my thought was that she could go in and just like play around with doing some hands-on activities with this, of just matching the pattern that they create for the letters. So I've got A all the way through Z, and you can see where my printer had some hiccups. And Confessions of a Homeschooler really has some amazing free printables that you can, if you just spend a little time on her website, you will find that she's an amazing creator. So she had this missing numbers, and I think this would be good for Molly. And we can go in and I can just have Molly write the numbers, or, you know, put in like 3 beads where, you know, the number 3 is missing. I can have her put 2 beads here, or I can have her play with Shopkins and, okay, how many like 1 Shopkin, 2 Shopkins, 3 Shopkins, 4 you know, that kind of thing. So I can have it be more of like a hands-on manipulative type thing, or I can have her just practice writing her numbers. And there were piles of these, and she's got, I don't remember what number this goes up to, maybe 20, no, 10. Okay, it goes up to 10. So we have the apples for number recognition, and then we've got these, and this was also Confessions of a Homeschooler. Oh, I'll go ahead and link this website below. I'm not going to link each individual printable that I got because there are so many of them, and they're all on her printable website, or on her website where the printables all are. So then it's got, you know, number recognition, but you're also recognizing your words that go along with it. And these I think are really cute. I think she will enjoy these, but I was afraid for her to destroy them. So then you've also got the empties, where you can go in and she provides the names or the number words. So you can have your child cut this out and then glue here where the letters go properly, so that way they're learning how to spell the word properly and match it with the numbers. And is there anything beyond that? No, I think that's all of those. And then on that, oh, that's where I got this. Oh, I'm glad I did that. I got these shape tracers that I had laminated into her work, her daily notebook. I got them from Confessions of a Homeschooler too. So there we go. One less link to have to find. Hooray. So those are Molly's more or less like core subject type things. And then I got a couple of these kind of books. I only brought one to the table right now, but this is just a dot to dot. And I got it at Barnes & Noble's for $6. So Molly, she's very good at trying to trace. Like, she's done all of these so far. She hasn't gotten to this one yet. And some go, you know, it's just like a maze. So I think for $6, this was pretty well worth it. Those are Molly's pieces of curriculum. Molly gets to participate in all of the schooling, but whenever I need to sit down with Caitlin and work on things like math or language arts, Molly has her books to work through, and I'm trying to pace her to where she's not just ripping through everything immediately, because I do not wish to go back and repurchase more things or wind up eating up all of our construction paper within the first 2 weeks of school. So that's, I'm going to try to divvy it out. And I think I am going to go through and maybe put some file folders in our crate system so that Molly can have her work special each week, and maybe she can have that experience as well. We've found a special spot on a bookcase in our schoolroom for her daily notebook, which she really loves this thing. It's really been a blessing for her. So she's got a special spot for this, and she's got a special spot like where that and all of her little books go. And if I go through and I take apart the cut and paste book and go through and sort of divvy out all of the letters and the number activities, then I think I might be able to keep her attention focused on not interrupting every time that I'm trying to read something to Caitlin, or Caitlin is trying to read something to me, or what have you. So that's sort of what we're planning to do with Molly. She participates fully during our morning basket time. So she's working on her scripture memory, and her speech, it's pretty okay, but for the most part, she's got a lot of her consonant blends that she struggles with. And sorry, that chair over there is uncomfortable and I'm pregnant. So she struggles with quite a few of her consonant blends, especially like anything that is a consonant blended with the letter R. She struggles with those. So I told her we would work on speaking properly first, and then after she's 4, we'll consider teaching her how to read. She is desperate to learn to read. And I understand, but at the same time, I'm just not willing to go there until she can speak more clearly. And I think that some of these school materials will help, and just maturing a little bit and having her mouth grow a little bit, I think those things will help. So I'm not intentionally like trying to stunt her or trying to turn her off from learning. I'm just really trying to get her to where she's going to have a more successful experience. So she does morning basket with us, and then Caitlin usually I give her 2 or 3 subjects to pick out of on which ones to do next. So if Caitlin picks history or science or Spanish, then we go ahead and Molly is included in on those lessons if she wants to be. And if she doesn't, then she wanders over to the playroom. And then after, like if we're on math, Molly might pick to go play in the playroom, or sometimes she'll pick the puzzles, or, you know, she'll just pick some activity to do within the schoolroom. I'm not really on her so long as she's not talking while I'm trying to explain something to Caitlin, or while Caitlin is trying to concentrate, or if Caitlin is narrating. If somebody else is talking, I expect all the other parties in the room to be quiet. So that's just a courtesy that we're working on with all of us, because sometimes I can wind up talking over people. But anyhow, So we have a few things for Molly, and she gets to participate, but it's not a you must sit down and do these things. It's more like, all right, I guess if you really want to do something, here you go. So those are Molly's curriculum materials, and I thank you for watching, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.